welcome back to another DR Transfers. Thank you for everybody who watched the first one we did. It blew up. Thought that what we do for the second one is we bring in Fuad here, right? Even though, just to show, right, that I'm over the hate for Tottenham.
Hey, it's peace on this side.
And for the summer, I've made peace with it that we haven't got top four and they got it, right? I've made peace with it. I've even forgiven him for smoking all my cigars, right, on the set that time. But now, Fuad, welcome along, man.
All good.
Here to discuss transfers. You know, actually, let's kick off with Tottenham, right? Because now that you're in the top four, going to be a busy period for you guys because, you know, it's not just about being in it. You want to, next season, be able to, you know, not just scrape into the top four, but you want to be able to step up.
Solidify that.
Yeah. What are Tottenham up to this summer at the moment?
To be fair, we've actually started really well, and it's almost unprecedented at Spurs that we've already completed 2 signings in Perisic, which I think is a quality player. You're bringing an experienced winner, someone who's versatile, someone who's proven quality as well, and an immediate upgrade on what we've got in our squad. And then Fraser Forster's the other one, a backup goalkeeper who, again, Premier League proven, played Champions League, size-wise he's good. He was still active last year for Southampton as well. The fact that he's willing to take a backup role at Spurs, I'm surprised, but getting on in age, I can kind of see, do you know what, that's a good backup to have. So for me, 2 good bits of free business already. I think one thing I have liked early on as well is with the cash coming into us this summer, surprisingly, we've actually gone, do you know what, we're going to go for our number 1 target. It's Bastoni. So we've gone all in. There was no issues with the money. There was no issues with the wages. But unfortunately, the player has said, you know what, I want to continue at Inter.
Saw that. He wants to stay at Inter.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying at the moment. I mean, you know, Inter Milan, though, not flush with cash this summer. So it wouldn't surprise me if that deal still happens. I wouldn't rule that out yet.
Yeah, there will be hopes of it still happening. But for me, I think with Italian players, it's always difficult, 1, to pull them away from Serie A, and then 2, I think he's in an ideal situation where he's in a system that fits him, a club that's kind of pushed him through, and I think he's playing for a manager that he likes as well in Inzaghi. I know Conte broke him through, and that's kind of the appeal we're trying to give him. But in my opinion, if it doesn't work out for me, I want us to press on and move on with other businesses.
What are the targets then for Tottenham this summer? What are the sort of, you know, what are the positions that you'd like to see filled?
I think if we're definitely going to stick with that Conte system, the back 5, we definitely need to sign a left centre back. I think we've signed a left wing back in Perisic. A right wing back would be ideal because Emerson, Doherty, they're not up to the standard. And I've said before, guys like Mukiele, that's who I'd want to see. Someone who's proven in the Champions League, someone who's done things at their club and been playing at a consistent level. Jed Spence would be a nice cover option, I think, but I don't think he'd be ready to replace that. Also, I do think we do need to add in midfield creativity. And I think Christian Eriksen potentially coming back on a free. That'd be
You're going to have Eriksen back after you all slagged him off when he left.
Whoa,
Judas.
Whoa. Nah. There was no Judas talk here. Listen, there was a contractual breakdown. He said he wanted to leave in the summer. I get it. In the all or nothing doc, we all saw it. He said he wanted to leave, and we said, nah, my brother, there ain't good enough offers yet. We kept him. It was a little bit of a messy situation. In the end, we sold him in January. But I don't think any Spurs fan will say they hate him or have any ill feeling towards him. And that's shown by when he's come back, the love we've given him. And also, I think even after the Spurs-Brentford game, what did he say? I still love that club.
But
whilst wearing the Brentford shirt, listen, bring my boy home.
Right? Would those Spurs fans have been showing him that love had it not been for the fact that, you know, he suffered, obviously, the very unfortunate, cardiac arrest on the pitch. And basically after that, everybody had love for Christian Eriksen.
Yeah.
But had it not been for that, I'm not sure if you lot would have been showing him that love because you come back because of the way
Dele Alli was able to make a career out of Eriksen being at the club. We haven't been able to create since Eriksen has left the club pretty much. Set piece takers, we haven't had it. Like, Spurs fans know what they've lost since Christian Eriksen left, and we knew what we had when he was there.
And he performed brilliantly.
100%. One of the most consistent players, even in the second half of the season.
Got the
quality for them. So
Still
for me,
doing it for Denmark. So it's amazing to see what this guy's doing.
Incredible.
After what happened to him. I mean, it's such an amazing story.
And the fact that he's available on a free. I heard there's United now interested as well.
Man United are interested in Christian Eriksen. That is very true.
So for me, I think he would be a nice, another one, experienced player. Bring him in. Okay. Good addition.
Just before we move on from Tottenham, I was going to ask you this. What's happening with Ndombele? Was out on loan at Lyon. Didn't exactly light it up there either.
Yeah.
And that was the club he came from originally. Has returned back to Tottenham now because that loan deal has finished. What's going to happen with him? Conte doesn't seem to fancy him.
Do you know what?
You're talking about creativity. He was the guy brought in to be that creative player.
He was brought in to be the franchise player, like record signing. And at the time, there was all the big clubs in Europe were after him. City, Barcelona, Madrid. And we thought, hey, we beat the market and actually overpaid, let's be honest, for a player that we thought was going to be the next one up. And we needed to replace Ndombele at the time. But this guy has not lived up to expectation in 2.5 years he was at the club. And in the 6 months he's been at Lyon, he hasn't shown much that he's worth that fee. The issue he has now is he's stuck in between a rock and a hard place where he's still got, I think, 2 or 3 years left on his contract. He's on 200 grand a week.
Jeez.
And we've also paid a record fee for him, so we're not going to let him go on a cheap. So any club that comes in for him, whether it's the permanent, the loan, it's difficult deal to kind of sort out. And the fact that I don't think he's got that natural drive and hunger about him, I don't think he's ever going to win Conte over. My ideal scenario, in all honesty, keep him this season. I know a lot of Spurs fans are like, what are you talking about?
I can see him going back out on another loan.
I can see that as well, realistically, because they'll think, what are we keeping him at the club for? But for me, I've always said, I think creatively he can bring something. You look at that player, there's something there. A manager like Conte, for me, one thing he does, he improves players. Can he, over the season, let's say start of the season, he starts off, you're not in the squad, you're training by yourself, but bodies start dropping. Christmas period hits, we need bodies. All of a sudden, Ndombele steps in. Out of the cold. Little shimmy here, little shimmy there. Yo, bro, we could turn it around, I'm telling you.
There's still hope. Well, let's see.
There's still hope.
What do you guys think out there? Ndombele, what should happen with him? Would he be a good... What club would he suit? I mean, like you say, it's between a rock and a hard place at the moment. Turning to my club, Arsenal. Of course, on the Lyon thing, he actually has done a bit like what Ndombele did, but apart from it's not a loan, of course, his contract's run out at Arsenal and he has returned back to Lyon. He's signed for Lyon, 3-year deal for him, the club that he was at originally before he came to Arsenal. And we were sort of discussing it off air, that I feel a bit sorry for Laccazette in that it never really took off for him at Arsenal. When he first came to Arsenal, and by the way, he's a real crowd favourite at Arsenal, right? But when he first came to Arsenal, he'd always be that first player to get substituted off.
Yeah.
Then in the following season, we went and bought Aubameyang. Aubameyang took all the shine because he scored all the goals. Then Aubameyang left, he became the captain, but I don't know, he's just never really taken off for Alexander Lacazette. And now he's gone back to Lyon. He's gone back home, I guess.
It's a real underwhelming time at Arsenal, in my opinion. It's similarly to, I think, how United fans might feel about Pogba, but that's a whole different situation.
Similar to, like, the Martial situation.
Yeah, Martial is actually a better example, where you almost first 2 or 3 seasons, they put up 12, 15 kind of goals, and you're thinking, do you know what? There's something there I see because he offers more than just goal scoring as well. Yeah. And you're thinking there's going to be this explosion. So for me, he's never really had the chances under Arteta consistently. I think injuries have played a part as well, but I don't think he's done himself any favours within that as well. I think this season is a big indicator of that, where he could have contributed. And as we were saying,
he's never been clinical enough.
Yeah.
That's been his problem.
Yeah, 100%. And I think Arsenal fans, when they got a 52 million signing, what he was doing in the French league, what he was doing in the Champions League, they really thought they was getting a world-class player. And I remember even at the time, I thought Arsenal were heavily reliant on Sanchez for goals, and maybe Giroud wasn't giving enough. And I remember Arsenal fans were frustrated with that, saying, we want a 20-goal a season. When Laccazette came in, they thought they had that. Yeah. And question I'd ask you as an Arsenal fan, do you think when Oba came in 6 months later, or was it in January he came in, wasn't it? Do you think that stunted Lacazette a little bit?
It did.
As much as they got on,
yeah, it
on
did.
On the pitch, it never really clicked.
Yeah, it did, but they had a great partnership on the pitch. I thought that they had a great partnership on the pitch. But again, Lacazette was the selfless guy who was providing for Aubameyang. You know what I mean? So his stats just never look good. But listen, wishing him all the best. Hope he does well. At Lyon, still on Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus still being linked very heavily, been linked with Tottenham as well. On that, right? Because I can see the Arsenal thing, even though there has been rumours that Jesus is saying, listen, I want Champions League football. That's the problem that Arsenal have got by not getting in there. But Jesus, if he come to Tottenham, where would he play? I mean, that's the thing. If you're a striker, why would you go to Tottenham? Because you ain't playing in front of Harry Kane, are you?
That's the problem, though. He's not a striker. For me, he's a forward. And I think during his time at City, last season we were saying they haven't got a striker. Jesus was there. Why were we saying that?
But he was never played as a striker.
And that's the thing. So for me, the fact that he's versatile, I feel like he comes in and gives us perfect cover, competition, when guys are unfit, when guys are out of form. Kulusevski is still young. He's going to go through dry spells despite a solid start. I'm sure he'll have dips next season. Jesus can perfectly slot in for that. And
so you'd have
with 100%, especially the quality of player that he is, he's an international. He's a proven winner at City as well. And I think City have underused him at times, but I still think there's a quality player.
Could you see that happening? Jesus.
The thing is, I think that we have more bigger priorities to address than cover for the front line. But he would be very much an ideal player. Right, him or Richarlison, to be honest.
Maybe a bidding war.
Listen, I don't think you lot want to get into that right now. We got the funds, we got the Champions League.
He started again. He started again. Richarlison, Richarlison's a very interesting one. Richarlison, more or less putting it out there to Everton that, listen, I want to leave. I want to go and play in the Champions League football. I want to play at a high level. I don't want to be relegation battles again. It looks like he could leave. We know that Everton have got a lot of financial issues. There was rumours that they could break financial fair play rules. They've lost loads of money. Thankfully for them, they survived, staying in the Premier League. And Richarlison was probably the most important player, him and Pickford in that running. But Richarlison, where do you think he might end up? Because there's PSG interested in him. We've heard Real Madrid. Lots of teams will be up with
He goes to those
Arsenal.
big teams. I don't think he gets as many. I think between the two North London clubs, that's kind of, for me, I think his perfect landing spot. Because I think if you guys got Jesus, we should go after Richarlison. I think Richarlison would be a more suitable option coming off the bench because he would probably settle for that role looking at the front line that we have.
I don't think he would.
Would he not?
I don't think. Do you know what it is, right?
I think Jesus coming from Man City, coming to Spurs, is less likely to want to take a bench role. He would probably want to be a starter at Arsenal.
Listen to my theory with and I do the AFTV transfer daily, and I've been saying this a lot on the show. Right, this is a World Cup year. Players like Richarlison, players like Jesus, these guys want to be playing week in, week out. Ideally in the Champions League, but if not, playing week in, week out. Because if you're going to get into that Brazil team, or if you're an English player, you want to get into that England team, or Germany team, or Holland team, and you need to be playing regularly. The competition for places. So I just look at it, I think Richarlison is not going to want to go somewhere where you're a bit part. As bad as as bad as the situation was at Everton, he played every week. He's their main guy. I just wonder. I think a lot of these players are taking that into account. Yeah. Because otherwise, if you're a bit part, if Gabriel Jesus goes somewhere and you're a bit part,
no, it makes
to be fair, you're up against Rafinha, you're up against Vinicius, all these Brazilians, even Martinelli, people like that have burst into the squad. You may not make it if you're a bit part. So I think it's something that they're all going to be taking into consideration.
It's true. I didn't even consider that, to be fair. That is true. And that's a toughie.
Because even Chelsea's another club that Richarlison's
because then I would say, going to Spurs is making it tough because I look at it as our front three is pretty much locked in. And I don't think anyone could just come in and break that up.
Yeah. So it can be interesting to see what happens with Richarlison, but I really don't think he'll be an Everton player come the end of this summer. Now, this is the interesting one. As we're up on Merseyside, this is the interesting one. Darwin Núñez. Now, Darwin Núñez of Benfica, still only 22, young player. Had another good season for Benfica. I remember watching him in the Champions League against Liverpool. He was brilliant in that. Manchester United were the favourites to sign him. It looked like all sort of the rumours have been pointing towards United getting Darwin Núñez. But what's going to really upset Man United fans is the fact that Liverpool now have emerged as the favourites to sign Darwin Núñez. They're talking about it could rise up to around about £80 million. No. I mean, this would be a massive blow for Man United if Liverpool get Darwin Núñez. And Darwin Núñez, if they do get him, obviously it looks like he'll be coming in as the Mane replacement, because Mane looks like he's heading out to Bayern. They've already put in an opening bid of 30 million, which was rejected. But I still expect, the bidding to go on and that to get done. Darwin Núñez, is he going to be the one for Liverpool to carry them forward to the next level?
That is a big, big question. And I think when you spend that kind of money, expectations come with it, regardless of if you think the player's worth it or not. And for me, I think that's the biggest concern is I feel like he's only had one top season in the Portuguese league, mind you. He had a good Champions League campaign as well. And listen, he's had a good start to his international career as well. He looks like he's got some raw ability.
The way you said that, the Portuguese
Are we gonna act like it's a top 5 European league?
Well, that's a Cristiano Ronaldo came from Portugal.
Listen, I get it. I get it.
Bruno Fernandes.
Hulk, James Rodriguez, Falcao.
Sporting Lisbon he came from. And it ain't too bad.
It's a breeding
ground. Come and lit up the league. So
it's a breeding ground.
Why
for
can't
good
he
talent.
jump from Benfica?
But I'm saying, is one season enough body of work to want to spend that money?
Well, evidently, it is, because it's not just in...
But that's what I'm saying will be the big question now moving forward. Liverpool have said, okay, once
you sound uncertain, though, don't you?
For me, I'm not sold on him. Personally, I'm
no?
I think this is a big overreaction to seeing Man City go and get Haaland.
Haaland.
And they're thinking, do you know what, how do we react to this? Let's go and get Núñez. And I think they've broken the bank for a player who is still a question mark, still a little bit raw. And the big saving grace they hope... Yeah, I know. But the big saving grace a lot of Liverpool fans are hoping within this is Klopp's coaching. Klopp can coach him to refine that kind of rawness about him. And listen, he might be able to, but there's also a higher upside of him being a bust as well, in my opinion. So for me, it's a tough one. No. Personally, no. I don't think he's...
This guy's a bad-minded man. Darwin Núñez is one of the most talked about strikers in European football.
He's one of the most divisive I've found. You either love him or you hate him, honestly. And I don't hate him, nor neither love him, but I'm very skeptical. I'm very skeptical. Right. And here's the thing.
I like him. And I think
Question I'll ask you. In that Liverpool system as well, they'll probably have Diaz on the left, Salah on the right, Darwin in the middle. How many goals do you think he finishes with next season?
I think he could get 20.
20 Premier League goals?
Yes.
La hawla.
Yes, I think his style of football is suited to Liverpool and suited to the Premier League. And with Klopp managing him, I think he could get 20. And
it'll be interesting.
It will be a huge blow for Man United, for their deadly rivals, to have come in and gazumped them from what looked like their number one target this summer.
That's what Liverpool are now. Remember, they did it to us with Diaz. We had it all signed, sealed and secured, and they said, hold on, here's a lower fee. Come to us.
But not many teams gazump United because they normally got the money. Yeah, regardless of Champions League.
They ain't got that pool like that no more, man. They can't drop this is Man United. Nah, it don't work like that no more.
On the positive for them, there's rumours that De Jong could come in at Manchester United. They made an initial offer of around about £51 million. Plus add-ons, that's another 17 million. De Jong, quality player. I think they need that type of player in their midfield, don't they? They've been lacking that for a very long time. Of course, Ten Hag in charge. I mean, we're talking about strikers and that, but maybe that might be a bit of a better signing for them anyway. They've got attacking players, but...
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I think Frankie de Jong is maybe not exactly the type of profile they need, but they definitely need a defensive midfielder. And I think he's a little bit more mobile than that. It's probably more of an 8, but definitely a big addition. The problem they'll have, though, is does he want to come? I think he's still holding out as Barca to hopefully they can fix their finances, because that's his dream club. That's his dream situation. He's always wanted to play there. He's been there 3 years, and I don't think he's fully lived up to expectations, so I don't think he'd want to leave on a downer like that. So for me, I think he'll still look for a way to stay there, and that will be a bit of blow for United if they can't get this deal done. Because not only do they need him more than he needs them, but then also that'll be now 2 players you've basically gone in on this summer with Darwin Núñez and De Jong. and both have turned their nose up at you.
And that would be, that's starting to tell you that United's not the pool that they used to be. Want to hear from you guys as well on the controversial views of Fuad here on Darwin Núñez. What do you guys make of him? Because, listen, we see this a lot of time, that players, there's a lot of hype around them, and then when they actually turn up, you think to yourself, he weren't worth. I mean, Darwin Núñez last season, I remember Arsenal were linked with him. He was about £30 million.
Bro, listen, the market will do crazy things to you, and the PR and hype will do crazy things. And I feel like Darwin Núñez is this season's flavour of the season, if you like. And everyone's jumping on board like, hey, man, I like Darwin Núñez, because United fans last month, when they were linked, they were trying to convince themselves he's a good player. Liverpool fans, now they're signing him, they're trying to convince themselves. So listen, I get it. Right now, it's a bad time to say Darwin Núñez ain't going to be that guy. I don't think so. End of next season, we will look back at this.
Okay. Divock Origi, of course, leaving to join AC Milan. So the cult hero is leaving the club finally.
Legend.
But Origi, I think he'll do well at AC Milan. And that's a great move for him, because remember, AC Milan back into Champions League football, etc. Actually, as we was talking about United, I forgot Marcus Rashford linked heavily with a move to Tottenham.
No, thank you is all I can say.
He's getting really cocky. Hey, Tottenham fans, man. You know what I mean? Dissing Darwin Núñez. Now we don't want Rashford, right?
Hey, listen. I'm just trying to speak honest here, yeah? I'm not trying to do the sugarcoating, because let's be honest, Rashford for the best part of 18 months has not been good. He has not been performing up to levels, and I feel like him leaving United now is maybe needed for his career. But at the same time, I don't think he would want to leave United because of how much he loves the club. Yeah. Also, you come to us, you're walking into a situation where the front three is already locked in, as I've said.
He's not going to play, is he?
He's not really going to play
regularly. And again, it's that thing I say about the World Cup. He's another guy who's regular in the England squad.
Not lately.
Out of favour now. Yeah. If you go somewhere and you're not playing regularly, you're not going to the World Cup. Simple as that. So it's a big summer. It's a big summer for Rashford, and it's going to be really interesting to see what Ten Hag makes of him. So
his best bet is get your head down, work hard, impress the new manager, and put your numbers up. That's what he needs to do, to be honest. He needs to get back to being himself. And I think the best environment for him to do that is the one he's always been comfortable at Carrington United.
Okay, Pogba, of course, leaving, closing in on a move to Juventus. So that's another United player out. There's so many United players leaving, or have left, should I say, like Lingard as well. Wesley Fofana of Leicester, great centre-back, they're 21-year-old, being linked with a move to Manchester United. Could you see that happening?
Wesley Fofana, I think Wesley Fofana is a great signing for anyone who wants to sign him. I think the way he's even bounced back from that big injury.
Yeah, that big injury.
Before that, he looked like, for me, one of the best up-and-coming centre-backs in Europe. And any club who gets him, I think, would be smart. I think Leicester were trying to negotiate a new deal. I'm not sure. I hope he doesn't sign a death row contract, because you don't want to be stuck in those Zaha, Grealish type deals where it's difficult for you to get out of. For me, any club would be smart. I think Chelsea are also linked with him. They should be the ones that kind of go all in for him. Yeah,
they definitely need a centre-back. Raheem Sterling, as you're talking about Chelsea, I saw linking him with a move to Chelsea. City would demand around 50 to 60 million pounds for him. It doesn't look like he's in any rush to leave, but they do need to sort out his situation, because come the end of the season, 1 year left. Yeah. The dreaded 1 year.
It is, and for me, in all honesty, why would he want to leave would be my question. Because I'm thinking, you're winning everything, you're working under a manager who actually believes in you and has improved you, you're performing at international level while playing for this club, and you're competing for every honour whilst earning massive wages. I can't see a better situation for Raheem if he does leave.
And now you're going to be playing with players like Haaland as well. It's exciting times.
It doesn't make sense to leave City. For me, if I was him, I'd try and negotiate a new deal. I think every player nowadays tries to run it as late as they can so they can play it in their favour. But any club that gets him would be, fortunate to get rid of
City have already...
They're spoiled.
There is such a good situation, aren't there, already, aren't they? I mean... That's the mark of a club that's like good. That's the mark of a
future's up in the air over there. They're having fun.
It's a mark of an organised club that they've brought in two signings in Alvarez and Haaland, and they already look like they're going to win the league again next season. Bro. Just with those two, and they're probably bringing more.
Yeah.
I mean, they are looking awesome already.
Just to quickly go back to the Pogba one, though. I was going to say, do you think that's the right move for him to move to Juve?
He just keeps going back, doesn't he? He went back to United, now you're going back to Juve. I agree with you. I'd like to see Paul Pogba. You know where I thought Paul Pogba might have went to was PSG.
Bro.
I think that would have been the perfect move for Paul Pogba.
Facts.
You know, go back into France, play for PSG.
And I think even the PSG system, you look at it like
especially if they get Zidane.
He would have been like a luxury piece within the PSG. They've got Verratti, they've got Neymar, they've got Messi. You're not going to be the focal and crown piece, which is what I think he struggled at big time at United. The reason why he succeeded at Juve, the reason why he succeeds at France, go and be the party pack piece, go and give us the nice gloss in midfield. That's what he would have been able to do at PSG. At Juve, they're rebuilding again, trying to become title contenders again after the Milan clubs have taken over. I don't think he should be the face of that overhaul. They've just lost Dybala as well. I don't know. I think it's a bad move. And to go from United to Juve, mate, have some sauce, have some belief in yourself to try it. Be uncomfortable and push yourself a little bit. Yeah, man, that's boring. I don't rate that.
Well, we've come to the end of the show today, but just before we go through it, I want to ask you, right, of all the... Give me a bargain signing. Give me a signing that you've looked out there and thought to yourself, do you know what? If a club should be going to snap that player up, that's too much of a gem, a bargain, of a great player for a team.
Ooh. I mean, the closest one, honestly, I can think of right now is probably Christian Eriksen, where I think a lot of teams need that kind of creativity.
Free transfer as well.
Free transfer. I think the last 6 months he's shown the quality he can still provide at an international and club level as well. Fitness-wise, he's still there. I think he is one that I think a lot of clubs should be hovering over for sure. And yeah, I'm trying to think of another one, but
I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best one I could think of. Yeah,
that is a very, very good one. You know what I mean? The other one I'd say it would be Zinchenko. Zinchenko at City, he's really impressed me with his performances in midfield for Ukraine. So if you're buying a player like that, it would be around to be about in the 20s.
Yeah.
Right, the early 20 millions, right? And he can play left back. I heard he can play on the right as well. And he can play in midfield. And he's an experienced player. You know, he's won multiple titles and stuff like that. You know,
do you know
still only 25 for me. Oh. That is one of the bargains out there.
Been around for so long, you almost forget how young he is. And it's
still only 25.
I always feel like every time he's been told to plug the gaps in for the City team as well, he's always performed to levels. He's never let the levels drop off in midfield or at left back. And I'm like, when is a club actually going to tempt City and say, can we take him and actually make him a first team player?
I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go
with Tierney.
I would love to have him at Arsenal. I think he's going to go this summer. Where he goes, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, for me, bargain, absolute bargain at that sort of price. Still young, as I said, experience. And also, one other thing that that people mustn't overlook, he's playing for the Ukraine, who have not qualified for the World Cup this winter, should I say. Right, so that means that he won't be one of those players coming back half-cooked from the World Cup. So I think an absolute bargain, but let's see. You guys, give us some suggestions, and we'll put those in the comments as well. We'll pick them out for on the next show. Some of those players that you think, man, what a bargain he would be. He wouldn't break the bank, and he would be brilliant in your team. We'd love to hear from you guys. Fuad, thank you very much. Thanks very much for watching DR Transfers. We're going to be back with another show very, very soon. Don't forget to subscribe here to DR Sports. Check out Fuad over on Stoppage Time and on all his socials. We'll put a link in the description. And we'll be back on the next one.